Hi, this is Carl the Cobra Froch, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. We're here at the OVO Arena for a huge British domestic showdown between Joshua Buatsi and Dan Aziz. Delighted to be joined by former world champion Mr. George Groves. George, loving the hairstyle, loving the suit. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I like your hairstyle and your outfit too.
I've got short hair now, George, but I appreciate that. George, before obviously we do talk about the topic I want to bring up to you, just give us a prediction on this fight tonight between Dan Aziz, Josh Buatsi. I mean, you've been involved in fights like these in the past. Everybody loves a big British domestic showdown. What's your prediction for tonight?
Yeah, well, I'm predicting a really good fight. I'm really intrigued by it. I think both fighters are flying high. Buatsi's been, a top prospect for a long time now. He's got amateur pedigree. Hasn't really put a foot wrong in his pro career. He's had a couple of hard fights now. The Bolotnik fight and Craig Richards, tough fight. So, keep that momentum going. But Dan Aziz has been flying, European champion. So I'm expecting a really good fight. I'm working tonight, so I won't give a prediction. I'm trying to stay unbiased, but I definitely believe that it will be a great fight. I'm excited for it.
How confident are you that the winner of tonight has what it takes to not only get in the ring with one of the current light heavyweight champions, but also maybe even go a step further and perhaps beat a Bivol or a better Biev?
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I'd say neither are quite at that level to beat a Bivol or a Beterbiev for where they are right now, like as in where the current champions are. But in time to come, who knows? Bivol's looked sensational, hasn't he? Looked really good against Canelo, and then Beterbiev looked destructive as always against Callum Smith. And I don't think either Dan Aziz or Buatsi could do that sort of a number on Callum Smith. You never know, and obviously at his age, at some point you imagine he's going to deteriorate, and that'll be the time to get him. But these two fighters are sort of world level now, I believe. They're on the cusp, and if a world title shot come their way, I'd expect them to take it. They don't need to have any more learning fights. They just take up, and Dan Aziz especially has been that guy who, if opportunity arises, then he capitalises. So who knows? We've seen Yard, try and challenge when his opportunity came. Rich is the same. Neither will manage to beat the two champions because they are really good fighters. But I think if their opportunity came up, they wouldn't be looking elsewhere. They should go for it.
Well, we'll only know more after tonight's fight. George, news broke to us yesterday that the news we all dreaded. Tyson Fury suffered a cut while sparring, literally just 2 weeks before his undisputed heavyweight title fight with Oleksandr Usyk. That fight has now been postponed. Just want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, disappointing. It's is it just sod's law? Is it just the way it is? Fury gets cut. You can't dispute it. You've seen the pictures. There is a cut there. So yeah, the fight gets postponed. I hope that they can go ahead with the show. I hope that they can make Usyk Hrgovic, get rid of that mandatory, keep Usyk busy. We get to see some high quality boxing. Whether Hrgovic fancies that on late notice or not, who knows? But hopefully they go ahead with the show. I think it's unlikely that we're going to see Fury Usyk. If they reschedule it, when is that for? Is it for the end of this year? It might have been sort of now or never. So yeah, but shame, because it looked like we was going to finally get one champion in the heavyweight division in his 4-belt era. But it's not to be.
Would you have, you've been you were involved in big fights yourself throughout your career. I mean, how would you have approached those final few weeks in terms of your training camp? Would you have taken on sparring literally 2 weeks before the fight, or is it something you wouldn't have done at all?
Yeah, if you need to spar, you take the sparring. I've had camps where I sparred up until a week before. You don't spar anticipating getting a cut, and you can't really train with fear of injury, because then you can't train to your full capacity. You won't be doing the hill sprints or the track sprints because you're worried about pulling a hamstring or a calf. You won't be sparring. You won't be doing pads because you're worried about hurting your shoulder or your hands or getting cut in sparring. So you can't have that mindset. You have to just get on with it. And sparring 2 weeks out, there's nothing wrong with it. If the footage that I've seen, if that is the actual spar that was in question. Who knows? I love a conspiracy theory. Who knows? But Fury had a head guard on. They slow-moed it down and said he got caught with an elbow. It's a terrible cut, to get in sparring.
It's terrible quality of footage, though, considering the fact that into all these latest technologies with iPhones and Samsungs. I mean, it's terrible footage, though, isn't it, the way it's been recorded?
You're a media man. You got a camera. You should have been out there. We'd have had a better clip.
I'd have loved to have been out there.
I mean, the clip I saw, they shut it off before he takes his head guard off. We see the cut. I mean, it would be lovely to have seen the cut. I mean, whose idea was that? Should have kept that rolling. Kept that rolling, would have been gold. But it's a shame. It's a shame, but it's happened time and time again. In fact, it's happened to Fury when he was supposed to fight David Haye. And he gets cut in sparring. I think it was only a couple of weeks out from their scheduled fight, 2013 or whatever that was. So who knows? But it's a shame. I mean, he got cut pretty badly, didn't he? That was quite a few fights ago, really, wasn't it? It was a long time ago, so it's not a fresh wound. But these things happen, It's a shame. It's a shame for everyone involved. It's a shame for the fighters. Huge shame for Usyk, and for the promotion out in Saudi Arabia, because they've put a lot of energy into this, obviously, and they're trying to fit boxing into a limited time frame, because they've got a season that they adhere to, and boxing is doing that thing where it doesn't adhere to any rules. It fucking goes as it wants, and that might spell disaster, really, for these Middle Eastern fights.
George Groves, the man who loves the conspiracy theory. I won't keep you too long, George, but there were a few things said towards Tyson Fury from Oleksandr Usyk's manager Alex Krasik, saying that it's a sign that you should retire. His other manager said, I completely forgot his name, but said that he probably got his bitch to hit him with a frying pan, and that he's scared to fight Oleksandr Usyk, and it's a fight he never really wanted. Just want to get your thoughts on those comments that were made towards Tyson, please, George.
If I'm Usyk's team, I'd probably say the same. He's got an element of humour to it. The Fury team definitely won't want to hear it, but it's to be expected, isn't it, from their team to say that. I've said before that I thought after the Ngannou fight, we might never see Fury fight again, and the way it's going, I think that still might be the case. Say he did actually knuckle down after the Ngannou fight, say no, I'm getting myself in shape, I'm going to rectify this, I'm going to make it all count, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to do it properly, and then he gets cut 2 weeks before. That's demoralising. He's missing out on putting in a good performance, missing out on being the undisputed unified one belt champion, and he's no doubt missed out on a mega payday. So that might be the end of Fury. Who knows? Only he will know, and maybe he doesn't even know now. Maybe he'll only know in time to come. But I'm glad they said something. I wouldn't. If they took it on the chin, then I would have been bitterly disappointed.
A guy that you know pretty well, George is Carl Froch, who obviously bit back at John Fury now. Carl Froch probably better than anybody. He had 2 great fights with him, and he likes to constantly say that you both sold out Wembley Stadium 80,000. But would you advise Big John to sort of go in with that attitude towards Carl Froch, because he seems like a guy who's not going to back down from anybody?
Let it go, man. It is what it is. I haven't seen all of it. I know Cole released, he's got a YouTube channel now, which is doing really well. It's got a lot of fans, a lot of people really like it.
I'm going to jump on it.
I'm subscribed to it. I listen to his one. I think I've been on his channel as well. But no one does it quite as good as Cole in terms of what he's delivering right now, I think. So, I mean, it's boxing now, isn't it? So, it is a bit tongue-in-cheek, it is a bit pantomime, but it's what it is, and it's going well. So, I mean, for Froch was on about the amount of world champions. I mean, I don't know why he's still got to read out his CV. We know it by now, Carl. You tell us every time. So, no, it's all good. It's all good. Nothing more to say on it.
One final, let you go. I don't want to take up too much of your time. George's family you know well is the Eubank family. Chris Senior done a few interviews this week, and he constantly mentions how when he was working closely with his son, that his son was just on another level, and that he was this great fighter. But he seemed to mention that he lost 2 fights whilst he was working under him, Billy Joe Saunders, and of course against yourself. Thoughts on Chris's comments, and do you think that maybe Junior's done the right thing, perhaps going down his own path?
I think the best thing of late is him linking up with Bomac, and then sort of. I thought he was finished. I thought that Liam Smith fight was sort of him finished. The stuff with Roy Jones wasn't working. Roy Jones is an exceptional fighter, a very knowledgeable guy. You listen to his analysis of fights. He knows his boxing. He's not just a talent. He knows his boxing. But Eubank wasn't able to implement whatever he was trying to teach him. But the Bomac stuff, he got him right. He got him and he won well. But yeah, I think Eubank was a better fighter and a better athlete when he was before he boxed me. Probably the best version of him was before he boxed me, and if his dad was involved, that was it. But also, when he did step up and challenge for a world title, he was systematically beaten up by me, broke down, battered. So he's not on that level. And now, he's hanging out in the winds, waiting for a Conor Ben fight. That I don't know. Does it happen? Does it not? So, but Senior, he's always been quirky. He does have a lot of knowledge, Senior, certainly, but also you have to get through the nonsense to get there. You've got to be a real boxing man to understand what to listen to and what not. And sometimes he purposely talks in riddles. But a clever man. Anyone who can take the time to learn Rudyard Kipling and recite it off by heart is a clever man in my book. I've got time for Senior. He's given me good advice over the years, but has a couple of valid points, but they're not all valid. So I think there was always going to be a point where Junior was going to have to outgrow Senior. Like he's have to go his own way. But he done a tremendous job with Junior up until that point. But yeah, it was for me. It was never going to work. It wasn't a Calzaghe story where. Yeah, sure. Enzo was a big personality, but he let his son do business, whereas Senior was just a little bit too much. So, yeah, but that's family business, so I shouldn't even be talking about it.
George, before I let you guys in, anything else you'd like to add?
No, lovely. Enjoy the show. I'm sure by the time this goes out, you've seen the show. The show was great. Well done, lads.
George, listen, a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for your time, mate, and thank you for talking to us, Amber.
No worries. Cheers.